So what's up guys, it's the Realist Rampman YouTube channel, and today I'm in a different setting. um, yeah, I'm in my bedroom basically, because usually I'm recording in the kitchen, and this time I haven't. I'm recording in my bedroom because my stupid sister thought it was a good idea to fucking put her clothes on. And obviously she doesn't know that I upload, because if she did, she'll tell me to delete the videos, right? And she can fuck off, right? And pretty much that's it, really. So I have no choice but to record in my bedroom, and I need to bang out some videos. So I have no choice but to basically record, pretty much. Yeah, today I'm going to be talking about why I hate having OCD and why I hate having intrusive thoughts. Now, when was I diagnosed with OCD? I think it was about 9 years old. I think I was diagnosed with OCD around 9 years old, and I got diagnosed with autism when I was 4 years old. So I was diagnosed with autism when I was 4 years old. So what happened was, I mean, I know a lot of people have autism. It's quite common for them to have OCD, right? So it's not surprising that I've been diagnosed with OCD. And I remember when I was a kid, I used to line up cars in a certain way. You know what I mean? I'd always have to have things in certain orders and stuff. Not like with certain places and things like that. Like I wasn't a hygiene. I was actually a dirty kid, man. Like I'd go up for like over a week without like having a shower. You know, my mum would literally have to force me to shower. You know, I was that bad, right? You know. So yeah, you know, despite having OCD and rituals and things like that, they weren't that bad. But obviously, when I got when I got to quarantine or isolation, what was happened is I started. I don't really know how to describe it. I basically started counting numbers in my head when I started washing my hands, even when I started wiping my ass after I had a shit. I would start counting numbers. You know, I started like flicking my hands, like my fingers against each other, and if I didn't do them a certain amount of times, that means my hands are dirty, or you know, I mean, typical symptoms of OCD, right? I mean, when it comes to OCD, I think a lot of has to do with my anxiety. I think a lot of it, my OCD, is basically is a coping mechanism for my anxiety, right? So when that sort of when that sort of thing happens, what basically happens is, I don't know, let's say I'm worried that my hands are dirty. So then you get a compulsion to basically that if you don't wash your hands a certain amount of times, you're going to get ill or something irrational, something that doesn't even make any sense. Like, literally, like OCD is basically like an addiction. It's like a behavioural addiction. You know, I've had it since the start of the pandemic, and I've been due therapy now for 3 years and haven't done anything. Not like I really care, because I don't think I need therapy. I mean, it's hard to be positive in a negative world, right? You have to practically be deluded. I think lockdown has woken me up to how bullshit this world is. You know, it really has. So I certainly, looking back at it now, won't change my mind anytime soon. In terms of my views on life and the world, and obviously antinatalism and all that, you know what I mean? I certainly don't plan on changing that anytime soon. And yeah, it sucks, man. And like with the intrusive thoughts, you know, like I remember one time when I was self harming back, oh God, 2 years ago now. You know, I haven't really self harmed much since as well, to be fair. Um, and I remember I self-harmed, and my little sister found out, and she told my grandparents, and my grandparents came around and shouted at me. And then since then, I kept getting intrusive thoughts of like beating them up and stuff because I hated them so much for what they did, and I'd start like getting paranoia, and I'd like be in the shower, and I was worried they were going to open the door and like drag me out naked onto the street. Now, obviously, I wasn't consciously thinking about it; it was just intrusive thoughts, man. But I've had times where kids at school, when they bullied me, I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I would have a dream that they like hurt me, or that I got revenge on them and they punched me and I pinned them down to the floor and I strangled them and killed them and weird stuff like that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Almost like flashbacks, almost. I wouldn't say it's PTSD. I don't think it is, but it was very hard to deal with. You know, having to deal with the kids, the way they treat me at school, the way they all said it was all just a joke, and but it didn't feel like a joke. You know, I've had mates who have pushed me onto the floor, and you know what I mean, and it even punched me in the arm and stuff, and it doesn't hurt when they did it, but yet for some reason when these kids did it, it just felt awful. Yeah, you know what I mean. I question whether I was even bullied. But anyway, enough with that. Anyway, but yeah, a lot of that I would have like intrusive thoughts of like hurting the bullies or alleged bullies, and hurting the family members for the way they treat me over lockdown and things like that. Now, obviously, I wouldn't go out of my way to hurt them. You know, I wouldn't do that. I hate them, and I'm not going to lie, I don't really wish well upon them if I'm being completely honest. But I wouldn't go out of my way to hurt them because it will get me in trouble. You know, I've already let out my intrusive thoughts when I had an argument with my sister 2 months ago because I said something that I shouldn't have said. And I got kicked out for it. That's why I'm living at my sister's now. And I regret it. You know, I really do. I mean, I'm moving to assisted living in a couple of weeks, so it will be good anyway. But yeah, intrusive thoughts suck, man. Having OCD sucks. Like OCD, people think of OCD, they think of like being clean all the time. When reality is that isn't the case. It's basically a coping mechanism for your anxiety, realistically. Obviously, OCD differs from person to person. Like, you know, my OCD is a lot more compulsive, right? Like, I technically, you know, sometimes, I don't know, when I watch porn, you know, I'll watch it once and then before you know it, I've watched it 3 or 4 times because I don't want to have to get up and wash my hands a certain amount of time. So I procrastinate a lot. You know, I sort of stop doing productive things because for me to do productive things, I have to count numbers in my head and it takes up a lot of time. It makes me procrastinate a lot, you know, and having ADHD on top of that and other issues and not getting enough sleep. And OCD is one of the biggest reasons why I don't get enough sleep. Like a few weeks ago, my sister's husband cleaned the bathroom floor. Now instead of using bathroom cleaner, he put bleach on it. So now I get like proper paranoia, and I'm worried that like if I get bleach on like I'll become infertile because of the chemicals in the bleach, or I have to like step out the bathroom in a certain way, and it just oh mate, that sucks. Having OCD sucks, man. It takes over your life. It literally takes over your life. But like the intrusive thoughts as well, violently hurting people that I hate. I don't want to think about those people, but they just happen. It's my brain. I can't control them. I can't control the disturbing thoughts I have. I can't control them. I'm sure there are a lot of people who have had intrusive thoughts like this as well. And if you have, please link it in the comments below because I would love to know, to be fair, like how common it is. I mean, I made this video because I remember a YouTuber called Steve Brown making this kind of video, and I thought I'd make this. I'm not trying to copy exactly his video or anything. His video is only like 2 minutes long. Mine's like over 9 minutes long currently as I'm looking at the camera right now. But yeah, it sucks, man. Having OCD sucks. It really does. Like, people don't realise how hard like having OCD and autism really is. You live life on hard mode the moment you're born, and to think if the quarantine never happened, to think that if I didn't watch all these stupid alpha male YouTube channels, you know, in fact, if my dad was a better father figure, you know, if I was never born, I would have never had to go through this shit. And that's why I won't bring another kid into this world. That's why, you know, I won't bring a kid with OCD, with autism, with ADHD. I don't want to bring my kid with those issues in an already shit world, a world that's got climate change, AI, social media, inflation. The list goes on and on and on and on. You know, I feel like maybe bringing up a kid back in the 80s and 90s was different because you didn't have technology over there, and you didn't have to worry about environmental issues as much. The world was just a better place. You know, it was cheaper to live. You know what I mean? But now everything just sucks. You know, we have all these comforts, but yet I'm so fucking miserable. I mean, I'm not miserable, to be fair. I've kind of accepted. And to be fair, I'm an introvert anyway. I'm a misanthrope. I hate people in general. I felt a lot of my insecurities and mental health problems were caused from people in the first place. Now, in terms of me not coping with them, sure, that's partly my fault. But when it comes to getting these mental health problems in the first place, it's the way the family brought me up. You know, they didn't teach me how to be independent or anything like that. They just smothered me and just said from a young age, you're vulnerable, you're vulnerable, you're autistic, you're vulnerable. And then obviously I had my dad who refused those mental health issues and basically just stuck up for my abused stepmom over me, which I think had a massive impact. But yeah, having OCD and things like that, and that's why I don't think, that's why I won't bring a kid into this world. Because I see this world and I see the issues I have on top of that, and it's just not worth bringing it. So yeah, I'm pretty much the whole point of this video is to show why I hate having OCD, because of the compulsions that I have and the amount of times I have to, the procrastination and all the fear, and it just sucks. It fucking sucks, you know. And therapies are expensive, and there's a waiting list for free therapy anyway. And then you also got the fact that the fucked up intrusive thoughts I have of hurting people. You know, even if I hate them, I don't want to think about that. You know, I just want it to be gone, but it doesn't. It just happens. It doesn't happen as much as it used to since moving out, actually. But I have had dreams, especially, you know, of hurting my granddad or hurting my nan because of the way they shouted at me during lockdown and had a go at me for self-harming. And then obviously the bullies for the way they made up rumours about me being gay and putting my old YouTube videos up in the classroom, and you know what I mean. And you know, sometimes people will make up rumours about me that I fancied people's girlfriends. And this guy one time came up to me behind me when I wasn't looking and floored me onto the floor and got myself covered in mud. That was embarrassing. You know, it sucks. You know, and obviously the family, the way they dealt with me wasn't great. You know, they taught me how to fight and stick up for myself. You know, things were better, but it is what it is. You know, the past is in the past, I suppose. I mean, I'm having to move on because I have no choice. Well, I don't think I ever will 100% move on, because who fucking does? You know, no amount of therapy or antidepressants or healthy dieting or gym lifestyle is going to sort my issues out completely. It might help temporarily, but isn't going to sort the problem out. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Depressing, I know, but my video isn't about being positive. It's about being negative and being realistic. If you want to live in a positive fantasy land, if you want to watch a positive fantasy land video, watch another video. Still getting trolls, no surprise. Immune to it at this point. If you'd like this video, please like. If you disliked it, well, your comment's going to be deleted anyway if it's hateful. And on top of that, it doesn't show the amount of dislikes you have. Not like I would really care, to be fair. And yeah, and subscribe if you want to follow more of my content. And yeah, and peace.